in this video, we are going to be analysing PayPal because it was asked. If you want your own stock analysed, throw that in the comments. We'll get round to it when we can. So to get straight into it, we've already got the charts on, the lines on here. We'll go through them still in detail, but I did actually record, didn't have the audio on. But all good. So what we can see is, firstly, what are the deviations doing? On the 6 month on the left and the 1 year chart on the right, they're both down trading deviations. Again, if you're maybe not the best at looking at a chart and seeing if it's up or down trending, deviation can be a very easy way to see it. If they're pointing down, it's a downtrend. If they're flat, it's a range bound stock. And if it's pointing up, it's a trending up or uptrending stock. So we know PayPal's a downtrending stock. They've just had earnings worse than expected. And since that, we have moved down. I think it was about 18%. So the release came out and then we closed down here, which is about 80-90% since the earnings release. So now what do we want to be paying attention to? So as it's a downtrending stock, on these long bias opportunities, I'm going to always take a bit less size because I like to trade with the overall trend. Again, sometimes we can't always get what we want. So it just means if we're trading the upside, I'm always going to take it with a bit less size because I'm not as confident in the trade working. But again, onto those key levels. So we had 65.50. This was hit on the earnings release. Again, we got that bit of hesitation. And then we did our next move to the downside. And we can see coming into the close of Friday, we're coming into that 61.50, which is our first deviation on that 6 month chart. So what we're looking at is basically coming into Monday. What happens Monday? If on Monday we open below, then again, really just looking for that move down to 57.30. You know, before we hit that low, what we could do is move down, retest this as a resistance, and then move down to that 57. And if on the Monday we're able to open above, then what could happen is, again, really just look for that move to that closest deviation, which in this case would be 65. And that might not happen right away. We might open, come back to test it as a support, hold, and then push up. And then again, that's still our target. The only time I'd be a bit more hesitant is if we open basically where we closed. If we open probably within about 20 cents either side, so 61.30 to around 61.70. I wouldn't really count that as opening up above or below. I would kind of just count that as kind of opening where we did. And again, then allow it to make its decision. If it wants to push the upside, break to the upside, come back to test it as a support. If it holds, then look to play direction. And again, the same to the downside. If we break the low, want to see it come back, test it as a resistance. If it holds, then direction to 57. And again, at these levels, if you're looking to get this stock long bias, we're looking long at 57. If it broke that, we're then long at 53.85. And if it broke all that, looking to play that downtrend, and then looking to get it long around $49. So again, first time we come into these levels, looking for that bounce. If we end up testing them again, breaking through, then again they turn into the opposite. So in this case, they would turn into that resistance. We break through, come back to test it as a resistance. If it holds, downtrend to that next deviation, and that's how I look to play it. So again, how we play it is the same to the up or downside. Main focus on the downside because again, that's where the long-term trend and the earnings is taking us. But again, those are the key levels all on the screen now. We can make them a bit bigger just in case you want to screenshot those and check them out, but those are the main levels we are focused on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not drop a like and subscribe? Again, like we said, if you want a stock analyzed, throw that in the comments. We'll get round to it when we can. And why don't you check out this video here.